The viewpoints expressed on the following program are not necessarily those of WPTT's management or owners.
Richardson, and my wife Di and I run a swing club in Cleveland called the North Coast Club.
Okay. What's your name and why are you here?
My name's Alabama. I'm an exotic performer.
You're an exotic performer. Okay. What's your name? Why are you here?
I'm Joe Rose, and I'm a consumer advocate for commercial sex.
What's your name and why are you here?
My name is Fred Cherry. I'm a client of women prostitutes.
All right. What's your name and why are you here?
I'm Randy Plesser, and I'm addicted to sex.
Randy Plesser, and you're addicted to sex.
Yes, very much so.
Hasn't been doing much good, Randy. What's your name? Why are you here?
Jerry Butler, male porno act. I'm here to give a true insight about the business that I've been in for 10 years.
All right, pal. Does that mean you got a big...
I don't know. It's up to whatever people want to feel about it.
Gang, I think my deranged producers have finally done it, all right? They've assembled a veritable all-star team of sleazeballs and sex fiends. We've got everyone... We've got everyone from Jerry Butler, whose main claim to fame is something you can't see with his clothes on, all right? A guy who had to sell his car to pay his phone sex bill. A guy who has his own swingers club, et cetera, et cetera. And all these clowns think they have redeeming social value. Right. Okay, let's see what they're all about. Grab your raincoats, button them up, and join me. All right. Let me introduce some of the folks we have here with us tonight, all right? At home base, we have Paige Mellish, who is with Feminists Fighting Pornography. Eric Nadler is at home base. He is United States of America versus Sex. At our loudmouth, we have Mark Seidel, National AIDS Prevention Center. And at the other loudmouth, we have R.C. Richardson, swinger, with the North Coast Club. Boy, I bet your parties are really great, huh?
Well,
R.C., let me ask you, the last time you were on this show, you thrilled our audience with a blow-by-blow account of your wife swapping and multiple partner orgies. You and your son pals, all right, called yourself... Call yourself the North Coast Club. Right. Now, what goes on in that little clubhouse, R.C.?
Well, first of all, my wife is sorry, Di was sorry she couldn't be here with you.
But she's with one of the other swingers.
She's just home nursing, yes.
She's home nursing?
Yes. We don't have any children. She just likes to nurse.
Not bad. Give the guy a break. I mean, all right, R.C., what goes on in your little clubhouse, huh?
Well, basically, it's a lifestyle that involves committed couples who like to get together and enjoy each other's intimacy, and we're sort of a vehicle for that. We get together and we plan functions and allow people to express their
vehicle
sexuality.
Is something that you ride.
Hmm?
A vehicle is something that you ride.
Well,
in other words, what you're telling me is you have wife swapping.
Well,
yeah,
husband swap, too.
I mean, we all sit there, what we do,
too.
throw our keys in the middle of the room, grab the keys, whatever keys you get, you go off to the room with.
Well, they did that in the 1950s, more.
The 1950s, that was the old square stuff, right?
Right, things are a bit more
That was all square
now.
stuff. Yeah.
Right. You know, we got to...
How are they defined? Tell me what they define.
Well, what we do is it's just like everything else. Everything evolves. You know, people have
What's
feelings.
it evolved into?
Well, it's evolved into a very, positive alternate sexual lifestyle.
Alternate sexual lifestyle?
Yes. Just
what
like...
do you mean by alternate? I mean, well, you have sex with a milk bottle? What is it?
Only the gallon jugs work. But, no, we're people who enjoy intimacy, and we don't resign
I
ourselves
enjoy
to our
intimacy
own
too, but I'm not
partner.
screwing my best friend's wife.
Well, maybe you're not that good a friend.
Let me tell you something. I see you've got a Miami Vice T-shirt on. I mean, with what goes around in your house, I imagine you could change that V to L. It'd be a lot more like it, huh? All right, so you have a certain amount of intimacy. That means, do you swing with 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 couples? How many couples? What is an average night?
Oh.
An average night of fun at the RC Cola House.
When we have to pour you into the car and point you home. Now, actually, you know, a lot of people are so involved with the numbers. They're so concerned about numbers. It's not about the numbers. It's that you're allowed to enjoy the intimacy with someone other than your spouse, you know.
And your spouse knows that.
Right.
And your spouse is having intimacy with someone else.
Right.
Do you do it in front of each other?
Sometimes.
Do we? Boy, I must be a real square man. I mean, I would just go like this. Okay. All right. You do it in front of each other. You do it in front of each other. What happens if you end up with only one wife and 2 guys?
Well,
Has that ever happened?
Well, only if you plan it that way.
Okay, have you ever planned it that way?
We mostly enjoy couples and, you know, group
Have
activities.
you ever planned it that way?
Well, yes.
All right. What happens? Is it the 2 guys on the girl, or is it 1 guy on the girl and 1 guy on the guy and the girl?
Well,
Let's find out here.
Can't tell them without a scorecard here. You have all those options, you know, if you ask me personally.
Oh.
If you ask me personally, we don't involve ourselves in homosexual relationships. You know.
Okay. All right, so you've heard this lifestyle, all right? You're with the AIDS Center.
Yes, we are.
Any possibility of this being a good breeding ground for heterosexual AIDS?
Any kind of feeling for yourself or your spouse.
Yeah, I feel myself quite often. What does that have to do with your...
Well, I know. Just looking what we're dealing with. You're an irresponsible
Do you feel
killer.
yourself?
You're an irresponsible killer. Just face it.
Hey,
just face it. You don't care
know
for
me.
yourself
You don't know me
or
that
your
well.
spouse.
Assume
Because
that.
after you're doing to one another, then you're going to sit and have popcorn together. So, you know, like I said, hey.
How long did it take you
Where
to
do
think that
you,
one?
what bowl do you put the popcorn to eat out of?
Yeah. It doesn't make a difference. They eat off the floor.
See,
It don't make
I
a
mean,
difference.
don't you kind of feel I'm asking perverted questions of what I think is a perverted style of life?
Well, it's only perverted because you don't have the insight into it. I mean, you know, there's someone else who might think your lifestyle is perverted, you know, ranting and raving on TV. But you're doing all right with it. You don't
Yeah,
don't
but
care
I ain't
what they
taking my
say.
pants off and against the loud man.
Well, perhaps if they paid you more, you might consider it. I don't know, you know. But it's an individual choice.
Okay, it's an individual choice. Do we have any rights, really, to involve ourselves in what RC's individual choices? Now, let's face it, he's really
what
only
you're
hurting
doing,
himself.
You're
and
hurting
his
yourself,
wife,
the people,
and
your
demonstrating he
wife,
has no respect for
no
women.
respect for yourself,
We
no
haven't hurt
respect
anybody.
for society.
What's this respect thing? You know, we're not doing it in front of your face. You know,
Do
we're
you
in
have
the privacy of
self-respect?
our own
Do you have
home.
self-respect?
If you're peeping in our
Do you
keyhole,
care about yourself?
you shouldn't
Do you care
be
about
surprised
life?
about what you
Do you
see.
care about life? Do you care about yourself?
Yeah,
Do you care about your wife?
obviously,
Do you
I'm
love
here.
your wife?
Obviously.
So who do you know who you're with? What do you know? What kind of disease? What kind of disease you want to give her?
Do you test your members for AIDS?
But you're
syphilis?
assuming that our relationships with these people are so casual. I don't know about you, but I never had casual sex because there ain't nothing casual about it when I'm giving my body up. So, you know.
You can see it. You can see what you're dealing with.
Yeah,
That's what it is.
You know, so
I'll tell you what,
let's think
RC.
about ourselves.
RC, you...
What do you call casual?
I have no definition for casual sex because I
well,
never
you
had
just
it.
used the word.
Well, yeah, right. I use the word saying that I don't know what it is because I never had it. Because giving
Well,
yourself
how
to
could you
someone
not know what
intimately,
it is
you
if
can.
you
If you do
never
that, if you
had
do
it?
that casually, then you don't have any responsibility. You know,
The
we're the
truth
ones
of the
who.
matter is that AIDS has become today a heterosexual disease.
Oh, yeah. So and before
and
that
you're-
we had
you're
gonorrhea and we had
coupling with
syphilis and we
many
had
other
chlamydia. You know, and
You're
so many
coupling with-
syphilis used to kill people.
That's
syphilis
right,
killed
but
people
there
years
was
ago.
testing for syphilis.
Well, that's the trouble. You should be.
Did you-
Everybody's
did you
so concerned
have-
about AIDS until they've forgotten about the other diseases that are going around because you got
secondary-
everybody so tunnel
they're
vision.
secondary
If you aren't concerned
diseases.
about, if you're not concerned about your
Are
body,
you more concerned about syphilis than AIDS?
I'm concerned
Because
about
there
all
is
of
a
them.
cure
I'm
for
concerned
syphilis.
about who I
There
sit next
is
to the
no
bus
cure
on because they
for
might blow
AIDS.
something on me and I might die from that.
AIDS
But you don't care
kills.
because it's not sexually oriented.
AIDS kills.
Yeah,
Say what we'll
AIDS
do.
kills.
Next, we're
Cholesterol
gonna
kills
meet-
too.
Next,
Look
we're
at
going to
this
meet
guy
a
here.
Philadelphia pornographer. Ma'am. Hey, folks. Hey.
Yeah, right. I know what you're
Next, we're
right.
going to meet a Philadelphia pornographer and a man whose unit has graced the screen of every pussycat cinema in America. Stay with us. We remain with Eric Nadler at Loudmouth 1. Joining our C at Loudmouth 2, we've got Jerry Butler, and on home base we have Joe Rose, who publishes the Action New York scene, and some of my producers call him a pornographer. I call him... Well, this is television, isn't it, all right? Jerry, let me start with you. Jerry, I got a chance when I got back from Boston today to look at some of your flicks, all right? And I feel less inhibited now after realizing that, hey, I mean, you make it,
Hey.
so, you know, no big deal. If there was a hall of
on that one, Morton.
if there was a hall of shame for porn stars, you and your joint, I guess, would be in the Smithsonian. Now,
I'm sure your brother wouldn't feel that way.
well, wait a second, Jeff. For the benefit of those in our studios who don't have raincoats, give us a brief history
Okay,
of
let
your
me
film career.
Okay. First of all, I'm here to represent myself. Now, I'm not here to represent pornography, and I'll be honest about what I have to say as far as pro and con for the business. I mean, everybody here is a shade of the umbrella trying to just keep the whole thing dry instead of the rain. I've done it for 10 years. I've done 345 films. Now, I'm not trying to justify myself, and I don't want you people to like me. That, you know, this is the verdict that you get after seeing me and hearing what I have to say. Now, we're talking about AIDS, too, okay? And, I mean, I want you to read something, by the way.
Go ahead, Jeff. Stay there, pal. See. Go ahead.
I wrote this letter. I wrote that about 2.5 years ago to a magazine in L.A. and to two agencies, which are big crime agencies in L.A. that sponsor the porno actors. My concern right now, being this long in the business and everything, is the AIDS scare. And I realize that the business has a tremendous influence. Now, first, let's get this straight. I've only done heterosexual movies. And when you got pornography, pornography is a title. And under all pornography, you got different types. You got kiddie porn, heterosexual, bisexual, transsexual. I fall under one category. Just like comedy, you got Eddie Murphy that says, and you got Lou Costello that says they just slapstick and the result is comedy. It's laughter. All right, what I like to do, and what I'm trying to do now, is trying to find where the business can become productive and do something about maybe influencing people to be more in tune about safe sex and do something about the AIDS thing. I am afraid. And I want to say to people around here, I'm addicted to this business, okay? I did it for the reason because of lack of love, a lack of affection in my life, okay? Maybe it's a cop-out, and I'll admit to that. And I wrote a book about my life. I'm trying to have it published, and yeah, that's why I'm on the show, to maybe get a little pitch here. But I cry out, and I want people to understand what I've done. I wouldn't do it again, but I've done it. I don't resent it. I may have a little bit of regret, but I followed through.
You've done 365 films.
About 345.
You say, okay, 345. You say you've done it, but you wouldn't do it again?
Right, if I had to start
You mean
all
you'd
over again.
stop, you're going to stop making these porno films?
Yes, I will.
Because of the AIDS scare?
Yes, I will. Yes, I will.
That's pretty damned interesting.
You know,
That's pretty damn
you see,
interesting.
I concern my mate. Let me explain something.
Have you had
okay?
yourself tested for AIDS?
Yes, I have.
340 films.
Yes, I have.
I mean, I assume that means you
You
tore
know-
off at least 340 times.
You
right?
better believe it. More than that.
Probably
More
petered
than
out.
that. But you know, the thing is, I'm not just going to say, well, gee, because of AIDS and everything. I enjoyed what I'd done. It was interesting. When I was 18 years old, I went to legit acting and everything. Now, you made a question about the size of my penis. And that's
Well, of course, we all heard about John Holmes,
right.
who had this giant...
and
this
everybody's
giant-
to that guy. I understand. All right? I'm a Toyota compared to a Buick next to that guy.
All right, but we
That
also know the guy
of
died of AIDS.
You bet.
But he's
And
also in jail. Gary, he was also in jail.
And he also,
Yes, but
and he
you know
also
something?
did
But
gay
you see,
films.
I got the inside thing about where he got it and where he traced it, and it has worked with a lot of girls that aren't tested. Now, this one thing I have to say, I'm not looking to badmouth my business. My business has a lot of scum, a lot of corruption, a lot of bad about it, but I will always defend what's right about it, that I found the light and all the nice things about it, and I have. I used to play in professional hockey before I got into acting. And then what happened after acting, I got arrested by a lot of homosexual men and everything. I didn't want to go that route, take my pants off, the casting agents and all that. So I said, hey, it was always a fantasy of mine to be with a beautiful woman and do pornography. Okay, fine, so I done it. I made a nice buck. I kind of got it wrapped and absorbed in it and everything. It was false glamour. It was Hollywood in a Coke can. And I fell prey to that. And that's okay because I learned more about life. See, I'm a successful person. I'm not a successful porno actor. I do not see that's why I came to the show.
Okay.
Everybody else has their own representation. What I
Did
want to bring
they
to the point-
nail you on coke and everything else?
Excuse me?
Did you get nailed on coke and everything else?
I sure the hell did. And for the wrong reason. People,
Are you off it now?
Yes, I am.
Are you still making pornography?
Once in a while because it's just there. I got married. I had a beautiful wife, okay? 2 stepchildren. And I still found myself, that's right. That's what I said. That's what I was saying. And I still found myself sneaking out of the house early in the morning to do a film, not just for the money, because something is there, that death-defying challenge. Well, okay.
Do you love your wife? That's one answer.
Oh, I
You
sure
love
do.
her.
That's
You
why
love your kids,
I'm on the
and
tail
they're
end of it,
more
believe me.
important to you than anything in this world.
You know something?
How come you always got
If
the
you don't
question
make
if people
statements.
love
Come
you?
on, man. Do you love your wife? You love your kids? Always questions, never a statement.
I understand what they defended. I'm not defending. I'm saying you're right. I'm saying, what could the business now do? You know, the industry, they're not testing the talent. The talent is scared. They're coming home doing drugs because they feel, well, gee, I'll do a gram of cocaine. I'll just start myself up and get into a different dimension. How could I get AIDS? I'm all fucked up. It's a very insecure, lonely business. And what I'm trying to say is the porno business, the porno business can do something now by putting back into the society that they've taken out some education about a disease that is treacherous. And I'm afraid of. I'm terribly afraid. I got a bad knee.
Now, here's a guy who's got an idea for something. How you going to nail him, all right? He's admitting he doesn't want to do it. He literally is an addict of sex, all right? He is now trying to get out of that. I did not know this. I did not know this before I saw him tonight, all right?
Modification.
What?
Behavior modification works very well for addiction.
You know something? I want to just say, I want to take a little poll here because I know they love you. And I do too, you know. In fact, I was a little nervous when I first came on the show. But I think you're great, and I respect you and everything. How many people have watched a porno film? Yeah. Right, right. You know something? I just got something to say, because I know it's going to happen, but 100 million people watched a porno film last year in America. 100 million. And 40% of those people were women. And I knew you were going to be on the show. 40%. In Time Magazine, we got the issue right here. Yes, I sure the hell do. And I'd love to see the business give something back to society.
How do you bring it about, though, if you won't give some thought to someone from that industry who wants to help change it?
See some light here.
Counseling and education.
You see, you didn't read the letter.
People
Who's
more.
going to pay for the counseling?
We're demented.
No, RC, I want to hear from Jerry.
I'd like to read that letter. I want to read that letter because that expressed, I wrote that letter in my little house in L.A., dark, it was dingy, I didn't know where to go with it.
You got better eyes than I do. You got better eyes than I do.
Okay.
Let's listen.
It says, dear fellow friends and those concerned, my name is Jerry Butler, and I find it totally necessary to express myself at this moment. I've been in this business for 9 years, about a year ago I wrote this. Obviously, I love what I do, and therefore I'm sensitive to it. As I speak right now, I am representing a majority of you in feeling. There's a social problem in the world called AIDS. Thank God it's been under arrest in our business, but now is the time to keep it that way. I am, like all of us, strong enough to still work, but of course there's always that fear and uncertainty. This letter to us all is proposed not as an answer, but possibly a step to our health and sanity. It's time that talent understand the power that must be generated since there is no union to protect us. For the only union we could form is that of emotion, concern, and communication. I urge your support for the following. All new talent be tested, and active talent have test updates and checkups within every 2-month period. And we all know the squabbles between the two agencies. It could stay, but we must conform as people, not talent, not actors, not actresses, but beautiful, self-respecting, loving people. I wrote that.
All right.
Okay, that's my position. Let me scare them more.
Let me hear from Joe Rose. Joe Rose puts out many publications, New York Scene, Professional, Girls. housewives, co-eds, and couples. That means got them all. Yes, go ahead, speak.
We actually rate, as consumer guides, houses of prostitution. And in 1988, we still get 5, 10 calls a week from readers complaining that the people who advertise in our books require them to wear condoms. There are places that do not require it. We don't accept their advertising, we don't condone it, but it's amazing to me that in this day and age, we still get 5, 10 a week guys calling up complaining that they're required to use condoms. That to me sounds like a death wish.
That just denotes the ignorance and the need for education.
I agree.
Obviously.
I like your organization. I don't think total abstinence is the answer because I don't think total abstinence would work. Prohibition didn't work with booze.
Is that
And
your
telling people-
organization says total abstinence?
Kills the
Your,
way
your,
Booze does kill.
Booze kills.
Booze does
Does your
kill.
organization say total abstinence?
The only
abstinence?
safe
Wait,
way.
that's the safe way.
Total abstinence.
Or
Safe way if you
monogamous
lock yourself in a
relationship.
closet, never
Right.
come out, have someone slash.
I'm not...
Total abstinence. if
You're
you're
right
not
that
in
it'll
a
work.
monogamous
I mean,
relationship.
I'm not
If you're in a
exactly a big swinger, but I'm not that much of a square that I want nothing.
But if you're in a monogamous
But in our
relationship,
society, value life.
Let me go to Paige Mellish. Paige, you've heard the conversation here. You've heard
Yeah, and we've
from
talked
Jerry
at length.
Butler, who just told you that 40% of the people who view porno films are women.
Well, in response, okay, first of all, we know that this is not true. What's your...
What magazine you reading, Mad
Yeah,
Magazine?
you're talking about Time Magazine,
Time
who is reflecting a poll. They did not cite that poll. We wrote to Time and asked them to cite their credit in 2 different letters. They never could cite the credit. That's because that stat is coming out of a person who owns a video store, who obviously has a vested interest. We've interviewed at least 10 different people who worked for Video Shack. They put it at 1 out of 10, or 10% to 1%.
Wait, you're saying
But
the man
what I
company
want
gets...
to talk,
Wait,
we've been
the man
talking
How many
company
about
women here have ever seen a porno flick? Let me see a show of hands. Women. How many women have seen a porno flick? See, you raised your hand the last time. This time you wouldn't. All right, we've got 14. We've got 14 out of approximately 50
The question
women.
is not how many women have seen it, how many women have been hurt by it. In a Women's Day poll of January '86, 25% of the women responded that they had been forced to do abused by someone they knew as a direct result of his access to pornography. In a random survey of 930 women conducted by Dr. Diana Russell, 89 of the women reported being upset by male friends trying to get them to do what they'd seen in porn.
Oh,
The
God, you don't
Michigan
want
State
you don't want
Police have
to hear his
found in
stats, but
analyses
you
of
want to hear your own
38,000
stats.
sexual assaults that in 41% porn was used or imitated to or during the act.
She's going to
North
turn into a
Carolina
percent
State
sign.
Representative Richard Wright reports defendants in 75% of the state's
come on.
violent
That's
sex crimes.
There has been no direct correlation between the consumption of pornography and the commission of sexual crimes. Also,
Right,
Paige,
all these sources are lying.
Also, Paige, here's the question for you. What do you consider pornography? Do you consider Calvin Klein ads pornographic?
This is pornography.
Do you
This
consider
is
the
Penthouse,
Sunday,
the magazine
Sunday
that you
New York?
worked with for 2 years.
Let's talk
Here's
ideas,
a woman
Paige.
performing fellatio on a horse. Here's a woman tied to a chair.
They ain't even allowed to
Beat
show
it
that.
right there.
Boy, let me have that for a second. Boy, let me have that for a
It's
second.
an old piece of art.
She's been tied
It's
to
a
a
painting.
chair.
Paige,
She's been
Paige,
beat up.
Paige.
Blood. You're not going to silence me.
Paige,
You've been silencing women for a long time.
No.
This
Let me
woman's
just silence
been
you
beat
for
up.
5 minutes more.
And here, there's blood starting all over.
You're gonna
Penthouse. A woman in bondage and gagged.
Well, I can see why somebody would tie you up.
Penthouse.
I want to get back. I want to get back to the horse.
I can see why somebody would tie you up.
Penthouse. A woman in bondage. Her genitals have been shaved.
Look at Paige. You show the one. She shows the one of the horse. It's a painting, all right?
Yeah.
And probably, I
Okay,
don't know
is
what
this a
year.
painting? Here we have a woman
1943.
She's on
Why
the
didn't you
street.
show?
What do you think
Why
would
didn't you
happen
show the
to her?
show the beauty in the same magazine of flowers. See? Nature. Nature.
Yeah, the woman with the blood dribbling down her breast.
Can I ask you a question, Paige?
Here we have women in bondage. Here's a woman being dragged across the rocks by a piece of rope. Does this look like sex to you?
Well, I can see
this
why.
is Penthouse.
I can see why your boyfriend would tie you up and drag you across the river because you won't shut up.
Can I ask you a question, Paige? Or do you just want to rant?
Here we have a little kid being sexually abused by Santa
Next,
Claus.
we're going to meet a guy who had to sell his car because his sex bill on the telephone was more than 12 grand. Stand by for this.
Introducing Popeet, the amazing new food storage system with an incredible accordion construction that actually expands and collapses. You create the size you need, collapse the container to fit the food to save the space. Only one glass left. Put it in Popeet and look at the difference. Do your cabinets look like this? With Popeet, you'll save so much space it's like having an extra cabinet in your kitchen. Complete with airtight lids to keep food its absolute freshest. They're dishwasher safe and microwave safe. You'll get 3-quart size Popeet, 3-quart and a half size pieces, 3 half-gallon pieces, and the giant half-gallon bottle that collapses this small for easy travel. Now, only $19.95. 9 containers, the bottle, lids, 20 pieces in all. Here's how to order.
Credit card users call toll-free 1-800-435-8400. That's 1-800-435-8400. Or send just $19.95 plus $3 shipping to Popeet, Box 700-A, Verona, New Jersey, 07044. Or call 1-800-435-8400.
Hi, I'm Tim Brady, the used car manager at Wright Pontiac, Route 19 in the North Hills. I'd like to show you some of the high-quality special value used cars currently on our lot. Look at this 1983 Pontiac Grand Prix. Automatic and air, 36,000 miles, and custom interior is yours for only $49.88. Or this 1985 Nissan Maxima V6 with luxury power options, including a power sunroof, is yours for only $224 a month. There's a lot more like these at Wright Pontiac, so give us a call or stop by tomorrow, and we'll make it worth your while. Hey, you can't go wrong at Wright Pontiac.
John Philip Webster, age 32 years. Looks older, acts older. John Philip Webster, 1 year later. Looks younger, feels younger, more confident. The reason? The new image step-by-step method. Possibly the most advanced hair replacement method ever devised. Definitely the most natural. Call now for your free brochure.
1-800-922-7500.
Joining us at loudmouth number 2 is a gentleman by the name of Randy Plesser, who plain and simply is a sex addict. Now, before we come to you, Randy, Joe, you wanted to ask a question of Paige.
Question number 1, I'm seeing violent forms of pornography, and I can understand an objection to violent forms of pornography.
So do I.
But I'm wondering if Paige is opposed to pornography that shows sex between consenting adults in a loving or very erotic fashion. And 2...
No, let's hear what you think. Don't give me a lot of quotes.
And 2...
Don't give me a lot of quotes. What you think.
And 2, I'm wondering, in view of the fact that Paige put a cigarette out in Eric's cup, then laughed about it and said, I have no regrets, if she just hates men in general. I like women.
Eric Nadler here has robbed women of their equal rights, caused violence against women, and incest and child sexual abuse by working on staff with Penthouse magazine for over 2 years' time. As far as what appears to be consensual pornography, non-violent, non-degrading, which is a small percentage of the market,
No, it's the biggest percentage of the market. It's
well,
the
according
biggest
to the
percentage of
Meese
the market.
Commission, a government commission on pornography, it's a
Oh,
small
come
percentage.
on.
See, it's amazing. It's amazing. When people want to use Meese, he's great. When they want to abuse him, he's a puke. Now you want to use him, so forget
Meese's
Meese.
name was on it. It was a
Forget
big
Meese.
commission, a
All right,
government
what
commission.
about it?
A big
Are you opposed to a picture of consenting adults in a normal fashion
The problem is you have to ask yourself, is the woman there by choice? Now, pornography and prostitution are very similar. Women are...
These girls asked to be in the
Those
book.
aren't girls, those are women.
Paige,
Aren't they? Or are they of consenting age? Or do you only refer
Paige,
to women
why
as
don't you ask
children?
me? I work with them.
No, I'm not going to ask you. I'm going to look at the studies that have been...
The
study of 200 prostitutes.
The hell with the studies. You know something? I want to say something. You know something?
In a study of 200 prostitutes that was
Paige,
conducted,
you talk
over
longer.
70-some-odd% were incest victims.
Paige, you've already accused me of crimes against humanity. Let me just speak.
Women.
Crimes
against women.
I consider women humanity. Okay. The point I'd like to make is, Paige, your problem is you're a political commissar.
Oh, so you have to attack me personally. You don't have any studies to back up your side,
Your
do you?
studies are all funded by the
You don't
Meat
have any
Justice
facts.
Department. Will you listen for a second and maybe we can exchange
So
ideas?
you can only do it a personal attack.
Let's see if we can exchange
Why don't you
ideas.
tell me what's good about women being lynched for
Let me
free?
cut it all off. Let me cut it all off. Zip it, Paige.
Wait a second.
Zip, zip. Randy, I said you were a sex addict.
Yes, I am.
You ran up a $12,000 plus phone bill on your home, calling phone sex, where I assume it was a girl who talked dirty to you, right? Okay. Did this end up putting you out in a way that you were, I know you sold your car to help pay the bill. You told me on a previous show that the worst thing about it was you ended up going out and having sex with 7 of those girls.
Yes, I have.
Why was that the worst thing about it?
Because these women here were not what I expected. They're very homely looking, they just wanted the sex because I talked dirty to them. They weren't accepting me as a human being. I learned
So
by
you
my
were an
mistakes.
object.
Right.
Hey, baby, let me tell you something.
Hey, I am proud of it. I am proud of it.
If I spent $12,000 getting laid, pal, I'd weigh about that much. Huh?
You and I have different viewpoints. You and I am different. I love to eat and I love to have sex. And that's the two best things, yes. And I'll tell you, I want to talk about these talk lines.
Let them talk.
7 women.
Go ahead.
Okay, I want to talk about these
Let
talk
Randy
lines.
talk.
One, these talk lines here were shut down as of August 1st, 1988. They were finally closed down so kids not get a hold of them. People like Joe Rose advertising this filth magazine. Their numbers, 976. It's filth-ridden trash. These people here.
Call. Who makes you call the number?
Nobody. I did. But the problem is...
It's like saying I made someone walk up and place a bet at the $2 window.
I was my own problem. But the problem is...
Did you go for counseling?
Yes, I did.
And the counseling worked?
Yes, it did.
Are you now married?
No, I'm not.
Are you engaged?
No, I'm not.
Are you having sex with anyone?
Yes.
Oh, right. And you can... But you're now capable of having normal sex 2-3 times a day?
Yes.
You didn't tell me that in the green room.
The point I want to make here...
Go ahead.
The point I want to make here is I have 3 questions for Mr. Rose. Number
ahead.
1, these magazines that you advertise in, are these businesses run by organized crime? Number 2, are these businesses up on a board legal? Do they have a document? Are they a legal business? And 3, how many of these girls are protected from AIDS and other diseases?
Be glad to answer the 3 questions.
Well, let's hear the answer.
Question number 1. After 10 years in the business, I have seen no places run by organized crime. Nothing that I've seen leads me to believe it. Things that I've seen lead me to believe that they wouldn't be interested. The profit per place is just not high enough. Number 2, you're asking about AIDS.
Yes, I am.
The more responsible places, there's always a risk in anything in any counter you have. The responsible places are firing any girls that they suspect of using drugs. They're requiring cleanliness from their customers, cleanliness from the girls, cleanliness in their rooms, and they require the use of a condom. And your 3rd question was, I'm sorry, you hit me with 1, 2, 3. What was your 3rd question?
About AIDS. We're talking about AIDS, and we're
No,
also
he
talking
talks about
regulation.
AIDS. Let me tell you, the next we're going to meet a man who pays for his dates and his sex because he can't get it any other way.
If your furnace didn't give you the heat you needed last winter, now is the time to replace it with a new high-efficiency furnace. Whether you prefer a gas, oil, or electric furnace, American Heating can install it in just one day. Who can? American. At the same time, they can add on high-efficiency whole-house air conditioning that cools and filters the air. Take advantage now of the low prices on heating and air conditioning. We will service any manufacturer's brand. So call American Heating for a free estimate, 242-4600.
Sir, regaining contact with Outpost 4. Switching to speakers.
Coming to a screen near you, Bosom Buddies, Saturdays at 5:30 right here on WPTT TV 22.
Do you know how to work a golf ball? How to slice around a tree or poke on a dog leg left? Hi, I'm Tom Watson. I recently wrote an article about that in Golf Digest. It's a magazine that completely covers the game. Shots, strategy, equipment, people. It's all in Golf Digest. You're looking for new clubs? A better ball? Golf Digest delivers. Top playing professionals Nicklaus, Kite, Langer, teachers like Tosky and Flick take you shot for shot from the driver through the putter. If anything can take strokes off your handicap, it's Golf Digest. It also tells you about the personalities that make the game so great. Sound good? Now here's how you can get Golf Digest.
Call toll-free, 800-228-6260 for a year of Golf Digest, only $12.77, 46% off the newsstand price. And you'll receive as a bonus tips from the tour, free. Call 800-228-6260 now.
Be a winner. Read Golf Digest.
Take a look at this.
That looks interesting.
I think we could work with it. Do you have an invention, an idea for a new product?
Maybe you have a modification to an existing product.
If you're not sure where to go with it, maybe we can help. Call AIM toll-free at 1-800-225-5800, extension 75, and ask for our free information kit.
You've already got the creative mind. AIM could help you find the right direction.
Give us a call now.
We apologize to all the light-duty truck, four-wheel drive, and custom van buyers. Sure, Star delivers the lowest prices on trucks. We just forgot to tell you. All you have to do is pick up the phone and call 1-800-362-STAR.
Full-size Chevy pickup, $199 a month? Sure, we can deliver that.
Different colors? We have more colors than Crayola has crayons. And you want an S10 for $99 a month? You got it.
We're out to prove. Trucks cost less in Greensburg, too.
This WPTT TV 22 entertainment update is being brought to you by DeCesar Wrangler. Tune in every Thursday at this time for WPTT's entertainment update.
Coming Tuesday, September 13th to the Civic Arena, it's Bob Dylan and special guest Steve Forbert. That'll be in the Civic Arena's summer amphitheater setup, roof open, weather permitting at 7:30. Plenty of good seats still available. Then September 16th, it's Debbie Gibson and her special guest times 2 at the A.J. Palumbo Center at Duquesne University at 7:30. September 21st, it's the Ramones and a special guest in the Syria Mosque Ballroom at 7:30 p.m. September 30th, Channel 22 welcomes Morton Downey Jr. live to the Syria Mosque at 7:30. October 2nd, Little Feat and special guest John Kilzer will be at the Syria Mosque at 7:30. Also on October the 2nd, only area appearance of Def Leppard, special guest Queensryche at the Wheeling Civic Center in Wheeling, West Virginia. And October 13th, it's an evening with Rod Stewart at the Civic Arena at 7:30, and those tickets go on sale tomorrow.
Bill Boggs, our executive producer, during the break came up to me and says, Morty, says, why don't you attack? Get down on them. Well, the point is, I really feel kind of sorry for someone who has to pay 12 grand to get his ashes hauled. I feel bad for people who have to go to this to get their ashes hauled. I can't attack someone like that. I can only tell you I think it's the destruction of the American family. I can't attack Jerry Butler when he admits what he's doing was an addiction and he's trying to change it. I can't attack Paige because she wants to protect women from being abused. I think her concerns are a little overriding what they really are. And I can't attack our next guest by the name of Fred Cherry. Now, Fred, you're particularly fond of one segment of the sex industry, all right? Prostitutes.
Yes.
How often do you frequent these ladies, and did you ever hear about just going out and getting a date?
Well, I'm in bad health. I've always been in bad health, and I can't get out that much. I can't really get out that much, and I was never able to really establish a relationship with a woman. Also, the fact that I'm thin makes it hard for me.
Thin doesn't hurt you, Fred.
All right, but I can't get out that much.
Well, you get out for this show all the time.
Yeah, well,
Why don't you bring along the hooker with you?
They drag me out here in the car, and they bring me back to my place, so it's much easier.
All right, now, Paige, would you and other uptight feminists really want to deny poor old fearless Fred here a little action once in a while?
Well, you see, the reason Fred wants to have sex with prostitutes and not regular women...
Oh, wait a minute, that isn't true.
Sex
That is
he's
not
having
true.
with them, and he's not trying to emulate the torture and whatnot he's seen in porn, which the prostitutes report that the Johns do, is because
this is
by
psychology.
paying
Let's get to the
woman
real
for
issue
it,
here.
It makes him feel superior. He feels threatened by women, no doubt.
What about the woman
and by
who goes to
paying
the
for it?
Jerry. All right, let me ask Paige a question. Paige, would consenting sex between two females be better than Fred's kind of sex with a female?
Well, probably because...
I thought perhaps I was getting that wrong. Now let's talk to Fred.
Yeah.
Fred, how many times a week, a month, a year do you go out with your hooker?
Please, a little respect. Don't call her a hooker.
All right, your whore.
No, call her my girlfriend, please.
She's your girlfriend.
Respect. Yes.
She's your girlfriend.
I want respect for her.
She's your girlfriend.
That's right.
She's not a prostitute.
Well, prostitute, yeah, the terms you were using were more disrespectful.
Hooker and whore disrespectful.
Yeah.
All right. How many times a week, a month, a year
Well,
do you get a little
I see you
stunk?
once a week. Wait a minute, just a minute. Sometimes I'm not up to, as you put it, and we just hug each other and cuddle. Say, I've been with the same girl for 1.5 years. I haven't seen anybody else.
Now, Fred, do you love this woman?
Can I ask Fred a
suppose
question
so, yes.
You do love her.
I suppose so,
Does
yes.
she love you?
I think so, yes.
Would she marry you?
I don't...
Wait a second, please. Lady, zip it. Let me ask you a question.
I don't believe...
Would you, if you could, marry her?
No,
Why?
I don't believe in marriage.
Okay.
There are some things... Look, there was an article in the New York Times magazine a few years ago about people who get married, then they get divorced, and after they get divorced, they see each other once a week and they're very happy together. But they can't stand...
There's a lot of articles about how you need to pay women so that you can feel...
I don't need to pay women. I don't need to pay them.
Excuse me, Paige. I'll agree with you.
That makes you feel in control. That makes me feel less in control. It's kind of degrading.
Something else than flapping, you might have a boyfriend.
He can't relate to a woman on an equal basis. So he has to hire her.
Maybe it's the other way around.
I want to ask you something, okay? Yeah. How do you feel about the women in pornography as far as the films are concerned? How they're treated? Okay, what's the issue? Are you sitting on right now that you want to throw at me right now?
I know that it's an abusive industry. Right now, we have a bill in Congress for women for people who've been coerced, intimidated, or fraudulently induced in pornography. And we've got cases all around. We've got a case in Colorado Springs where the guys are in prison for this case. This is the Roche case. Over 100 women were tortured against their will while in bondage.
Michael always got a case of the fleas, but I don't see you scratching.
On this case.
Hey,
Why they responded to ads for models, regular models. It didn't even
And that
say
is a scam, Jerry. That's a scam. Next, let's talk to our audience, all right? We'll let them speak, and we'll meet a male stripper. Quickly, before we go back to the audience, you said you had a question for the young lady out there?
I have a question for Paige Mellish. You say you're against child abuse, is that correct?
That's right.
Then what were you doing marching in the gay parade with the North American Mad Boy Love Association? An organization of child. Look at this. This is the North...
We weren't marching with NAMBLA. NAMBLA was in the parade,
right,
which
but why
I
are you
think
so
is an
indifferent to that?
embarrassment.
Why are you so indifferent to that?
But we were marching, I was marching with our banner, Feminist Fighting
That's
Pornography.
Right. That's correct.
Yes, because we believe in sexual choice.
For NAMBLA?
No, I don't agree with NAMBLA being in the parade.
Well, why didn't you protest that?
Let me introduce
Why do you protest just against Penthouse? Why didn't you protest against NAMBLA?
Good job, pal. You did it.
Okay.
All right. All right. Let me go to...
There's a lot of groups in that parade.
Y'all are familiar with the singing group Alabama, huh? All right. I want you to meet a one-man swinging group, Alabama. He's a male stripper, all right? How'd you get started as a male stripper, Alabama?
Well, it was pretty easy, actually. Actually, I was running a bar in Texas, and we were short, had male reviews every week. Some of the dancers didn't show up, so, you know, being a manager, you're supposed to step in, sort of take control, take charge.
So how much of your clothes did you take off?
Oh, the first night, just a shirt and unbuttoned pants. No big production, just a little teaser.
Have you worked it out better now?
Oh, yeah, it's pretty much good routine after about 4 years of doing it.
Would you care to do it for our audience? Take off your clothes? Now, wait a second. I want to stop right there. Because all the cheers we heard, Paige, were from the abused women who are
It's a form of revenge. It's getting back at men for what they've done to us for so long.
Actually, Paige, do you like any men? Do you like any of them? Is there any redeeming value in a man?
You know, Mort, you're going to have to take your questions to the FBI and
Is there any
the
redeeming value in men?
And the people who did those derogatory about men. I've given you statistics by organizations, by
organizations that march in the parade with NAMBLA. I got you.
No, by the most credible sources. So if that
Alabama, Alabama. Oh, go ahead. Have you got those tearaway pants?
We were just speaking, Jerry, backstage. We were speaking how you got to be ready in the business, and you know, while we were back there talking, the beat goes off. I'm on the way to do a show, actually. So Jerry wondered what I was doing with the Velcro pants on. But it's a business.
So what are those called, tearaways?
What tearaways ride? They're, no. And
are you trying to get even with men? Is that why you want to take on?
I mean, if she's not going to abuse me.
Any other women trying to get even with men who'd like to have him take off his pants? You're right. They're all trying to get even with men.
No, since I didn't come prepared, I just go tell them.
Is Paige a hypocrite?
It's Paige, you know, putting a Superman costume on and entertaining, putting on military uniform.
Medicine life, piece of meat. That's our status. You have your equal rights.
That's true.
We make 63 cents to every dollar you make.
Hey!
For you to play piece of meat is not the same as living it.
It is Paige, isn't it?
Paige. Piece of meat is a piece of meat. simply is how you cook it and eat it. We'll be back in just a second. I don't know what kind of redeeming value we found in anything tonight. We listened to Paige's statistics. We've listened to these gentlemen who have had problems with sex, taken counseling. I brought purposely all men into this segment. We're going to have women on another segment, and we'll have some guy who's just as square as you are, Paige, standing up there. And I'm not for nailing everything you can get your hands on, and I'm for a monogamous lifestyle with the woman you love. But by God, I'm also not for imposing my strict views, and mine are pretty strict, on someone else who maybe it hangs on the other side. I don't know, pal. You know, but for you guys, thanks for being on the show. RC, I really don't like your situation, right? I don't like your situation because I think when you swing with a lot of other people, you damage little kids, all right? I think that's where you're wrong. You don't do anything with little kids. Consenting adults are parents of little kids who eventually find out.
Beginning next week, go where no man has gone before when the crew of the Enterprise returns. Star Trek, weeknights at 6, beginning next week. Now stay tuned for the Hit Squad, up next here on Pittsburgh's great entertainer, WPTT TV 22.